When I stepped out of Riverdale, rain was coming down in sheets. I sat outside the terminal waiting, but after more than an hour the person I was waiting for still hadn't shown. I thought for a moment, then opened Instagram. An hour ago Maura had posted, "Even if the rain turns the city upside down, the people who love me are still right here beside me." Strangely, I felt nothing. Maura's post came with a photo. I didn't have to guess, standing next to her birthday cake, holding the candles, were Eleanor, Richard, Leo, and Jason. I used to love Jason's hands, clean joints, fair skin, a faint blush across the knuckles. I'd teased him more than once that those hands could be hand model famous and make countless girls swoon. Now they were all with Maura. Just 5 hours earlier they had volunteered to meet me in the arrivals hall and take me home. No need to imagine, Maura's excuse would be not feeling well, so missing my pickup was only natural. For Maura they'd missed much of my life. They missed driving me to my college entrance exams, missed my coming-of-age ceremony, missed the congratulatory dinner for my university acceptance, missed every big and small anniversary. The reasons were always the same: Maura's heart hurt, her stomach hurt, the scar where her kidney had been removed hurt. They missed me again and again. I opened notes and added another tally mark. There were already 100 tally marks on the page. They'd missed me 100 times. Yet my heart was calm. After 99 misses, one more changed nothing. Maura was the daughter Eleanor and Richard lost before I was born. The day they found her again, I was turning 12. She was gaunt, pale, and someone had stolen one of her kidneys. Eleanor and Richard sobbed over Maura while I stood to the side in my party hat, dazed. From that day on, everyone's attitude toward me shifted. They told me to yield to her, protect her, she'd suffered too much. I nodded obediently and gave Maura all my sincerity. How did she repay me? I still remember, clear as yesterday, the hideous look on that pretty face. "It's all because of you. After you were born they stopped looking for me." "Why? Everything you own should have been mine. You should never have been born." After that, every birthday of mine became her birthday. Eleanor and Richard carted all the good things to her room. Leo stopped clinging to me. Even Jason began looking at her again and again, his eyes full of tenderness and adoration. But wasn't he my boyfriend? Weren't Eleanor, Richard, and Leo my family? My grievances earned only their impatience. "She's your sister. Do you think I'd have improper thoughts about her? Stop being unreasonable. Your sister went through hell. What's wrong with giving her the best? You can buy those things again. Maura is so gentle and frail. Can't you just leave her alone?" Eleanor and Richard rarely lost their tempers, so to keep the peace I compromised again and again. Every storm Maura stirred up ended only because I bent. This was the 100th time, but this time all my former fury and reluctance were gone. I simply felt it wasn't worth it anymore. I had too much to do, too much unfinished work. I just wanted to sleep and wake up to fresh tasks. Exhausted, I checked into the grand view, fell onto the bed fully dressed, and slept like the dead until a ringtone jerked me awake. Eleanor's voice filled the room. "Willa, where exactly are you at the airport?" "We're coming right now." "Sorry, Willa, we kept you waiting. But you know how your sister's health is. If we weren't there she'd be terrified home alone." "Oh, no need," I said, finally surfacing from my groggy stupor. "I left the airport ages ago. If you're worried about her, just stay with her. Don't worry about me." I hadn't really expected them to care. There'd been a time when I still hoped they might, when I'd stood waiting stupidly at the airport like this, but every time Maura called them away. "Then Willa, where are you now?" "We could." "No need. I've already booked a room." "It's late, I'm going to sleep." I hung up before she could finish. I slept clear through to noon for once. After checking out I even lingered over lunch at a diner before taking a cab home. Everyone was in the living room. When they saw me they jumped up and hurried over, Jason included. "Willa, which hotel were you at last night? Why didn't you let us pick you up?" Eleanor asked. "A hotel room can't be better than home, surely you'd rest better here." "Come, your sister cooked something delicious." "Oh, no need, I've already eaten." I swept my gaze over the dishes on the table. Actually, in the past I had cooked every family meal myself, desperate for their approval. But if Maura so much as wrinkled her nose, I would be the one blamed, just like now. Maura pinched her brows delicately and murmured, "Willa, do you dislike my cooking? I can remake it." Her words ushered fresh blame into Mom, Dad, and Jason's eyes. "Willa, your sister slaved half the day over this spread. At least taste something." Second sis, did you stuff yourself outside just so you could humiliate our big sis? Leo's stare dripped contempt. Willa, your sister's health is fragile. She coughed on stove smoke for you and even cut her hand, can't you give her a scrap of face? See? I say one sentence, and the scolding arrives right on schedule. I sighed. I'm allergic to shrimp and cilantro. Did you forget, Mom and Dad? Once, after I accidentally ate those two things, I spent a full month in the hospital. Back then Mom and Dad had even drawn up a safe foods list. And Maura knew about my allergy, she'd seen me refuse both foods with her own eyes. This warning shot of hers was so clumsy it struck me as downright funny enough to laugh at for the first time. Only then did Mom and Dad catch on. The air froze, thick with awkwardness. By the way, I said, cutting the silence in half, I've rented an apartment. I won't be coming back. Today I'm only here to collect my things. When I still lived here, I'd believed that if I only did a little better, Mom, Dad, and Leo might finally look at me, that if I indulged Maura a little more, they'd call me sensible and love me like they used to. I memorized everyone's preferences. For Maura's sake I gave in time after time, but today it finally clicked, Maura just wanted me gone. Fine. I'll oblige her. I'm tired of wrestling with Maura. It's pointless. In the end, the only one who ever gets hurt is me. Unexpectedly, Mom and Dad didn't agree, they frowned and caught my hand. Willa, are you upset because we were busy looking after your sister last night? No. Her health is frail, I understand you need to take care of her, I answered calmly. That's why I've decided to move out, so you can care for her more easily. Dad opened his mouth, but I spoke first. I've gathered everything. I'll leave now. Quarter End had spun me like a top. As a reward, Halcyon bought us plane tickets to Crystal for the company retreat. In past years, to please Jason and the family, I'd traded the trip for cash and showered them with gifts. Yet not once did I earn a nod of recognition, their eyes stayed fixed on Maura. Only later did I realize my entire existence had chased their approval. That was never a healthy omen. This year everyone gasped when I actually showed up. Wow, not spending the week with your boyfriend and family? I smiled. I'm choosing myself for once. Not just once, every single time from now on. Oddly, after I moved out, Mom and Dad's calls multiplied. Even Leo, silent for months, began flooding me with iMessages. And Jason, who used to answer one syllable to my 10 lines, started sending video chats. Willa, let's have dinner tomorrow and talk about you and Jason. Second sis, your birthday's coming up, what do you want? I'll buy it. Willa, you once said the house needed succulents. I remember you love them, can I buy a whole set? I frowned at the new family group chat bubbling up on my phone, every message tagging me. I'd seen that group on Mom's phone before, Maura, Leo, Mom, Dad, no Willa. Now Dad had added me without my noticing. The sudden affection felt alien. I typed one line, on the company retreat, not coming home, and set the phone down. Jason's messages I ignored completely. I haven't figured out how to answer, nor how to handle what's left between him and me. Asterisk. The retreat's vibe poured pure ease and joy through me. Colleagues who once exchanged polite nods ignited over a single topic and talked until we were giddy. We snapped a group selfie, and for once I posted party pictures on Instagram. Wow, Willa, you're gorgeous when you smile, a coworker squealed, scrolling through shots. You always wore that stone face, we thought you were scary. Turns out you're a blast. I grinned, feeling lighter than air, paying no mind to Jason's calls, Mom and Dad's texts, Leo's voice notes, or Maura's ringing phone. The day the company retreat ended, I said goodbye to my colleagues one by one at Riverdale, then headed out, planning to go home and crash. But the moment I stepped outside, I saw Mom, Dad, Maura, Leo, and Jason all waiting for me. When they spotted me, their eyes lit up for a second. Willa. Leo darted forward to take my bag. I shifted it to the other side and his hand closed on empty air. What are you all doing here? The coldness in my voice froze them for a beat. Mom recovered first. Willa, your sister really misses you. Come back home, move back in, okay? Right, Maura's been talking about you in her sleep lately. When did you two become so inseparable? I gave Maura a half smile. She stared back timidly, but I didn't miss the malice behind her eyes. Miss me, or miss having someone around for Mom and Dad to scapegoat so you can stay their perfect darling? Maura's expression faltered, then rearranged itself into grievance. Willa, I know you've always hated me, but I honestly want us to fix this. Willa, that apartment can't be good for you. Come home. I'm the big sister, I should take care of you. Move back? My room became yours the day you returned, and after I started working I slept in the dorm. What exactly would I be moving back to? My words blanked every face. Mom and Dad looked like they'd just remembered too, their faces went bloodless. They finally recalled how, after Maura came home, Dad had declared there weren't enough bedrooms, mine was sunny and spacious, perfect for a convalescent, and simply enrolled me in on-campus housing. All these years I'd told myself I was used to their indifference, yet today their cliched plea still pinched my heart, dull and brief. I couldn't be bothered to catalog their expressions. I wheeled my suitcase past them and walked out of Riverdale. I thought the airport scene would keep Maura quiet for a while, I'd stopped competing, after all. I just hadn't expected her to keep vomiting drama onto my plate. I was in my corner office, drowning in work. The recent promotion came with a prettier paycheck and a heftier inbox. Texts from Mom and Leo, calls from Jason, none held my attention for even 60 seconds. Little by little I'd widened the distance. Whatever stunt Maura pulled on Instagram, I swiped past as if I hadn't seen it. When she messaged me directly with taunts, I never replied. My priorities now were my projects, my feelings. All those years nothing I did had been right in their eyes. Nowadays, as long as I approved of myself, that was enough. But Maura still wasn't done. Leo's call came right while I was wrestling a deadline. Willa, Leo hesitated. Can you come home? It's important. I frowned. Usually, whatever the crisis, Mom and Dad thought of Maura first. What was the emergency now? I finished my tasks, flagged my last email, then leisurely hailed a rideshare to the house I used to call mine. Everyone was there when I arrived, Jason included. When he looked at me, something unreadable flickered across his face, shame, maybe, or pity. What's this about? I cut straight to it, I hadn't come for small talk. Willa, Dad started, voice strained. Let me. Maura's gentle tone floated across the living room, and, as if on cue, her eyes reddened. Willa, I know you'll be furious, but I can't help it. I've tried. Tears spilled, she reached for Jason's hand. Willa, I really love Jason. Every time I'm sick he's right there. His tenderness. I'm addicted. I can't give it up. So, Willa, could you let him go? Please? I love him. I'll return everything else, your room, whatever you want. Just, give me Jason. I stared at her blankly while she sobbed, shoulders shaking. Mom couldn't take it, she rushed over and wrapped Maura in her arms. Willa, your sister lost a kidney, she's fragile. Jason's care keeps her going. You're the younger one, and you're so capable, just. I swept my gaze over the whole Vance clan. While Maura wept, Mom, Dad, Leo, even Jason, fixed their eyes on her at the exact same moment. For the first time I witnessed, raw and unscripted, how the squeaky wheel really does get the grease. Fine. What? I heard my own voice, Jason's disbelieving echo, and saw the stunned faces of Mom, Dad, and Leo all at once. I promise you, Maura, Jason, I don't want him anymore, I give him to you. I smiled and said it again. Maura froze, a flicker of surprise in her eyes. Probably she'd never imagined I'd agree so readily. Willa, what do you mean? Jason couldn't take it. Swallowing his anger, he yanked me aside and demanded. I looked at him, puzzled. Since my sister likes you, of course I should step aside, don't you think that's only right? Once you and Maura are together, you can take care of her 24/7, you won't need my permission for every little thing, wouldn't that be wonderful? Wonderful? Jason's voice cracked louder, startling Mom, Dad, and Maura. Willa, I know you're mad that I look after your sister, but she's your family. I do it for you, what's wrong with that? I was even more confused. But you never make me feel like I have a boyfriend. I can't sense any boyfriend in my life, so what's wrong with handing you over to Maura? Jason stood there, stunned, maybe in that instant a reel of memories flashed through his mind. The time acute gastroenteritis landed me in the ER and I called him for the deposit, he'd turned his phone off because Maura had a mild cold. The weekend we'd planned to hike, he left me alone on the mountain because Maura couldn't find her pills. The afternoon I begged him to rush me a critical contract. He drove 2 hours to a bakery for her custom birthday cake, so the file reached my boss late. I lost a huge deal, and my bonus was docked for 6 straight months. Incident after incident had already emptied me of any hope. And when I poured out my grievances to Mom and Dad, they still sided with my sister. What was left for me to expect? I stepped past Jason and looked at Mom, Dad, and Maura. I've given Maura everything she's ever wanted. If she still wants something, I suppose it's my kidney? It's fine, I can give her that too, if she wants it. Mom finally panicked. Sweetheart, what nonsense. A kidney isn't something you just hand over. What happens to you afterward? A vicious glint flashed through Maura's eyes. Biting her lip, she stared at me, tears brimming. Willa, how could you think I'd want that? I smiled, turned, and walked away. Once I'd left home and cut contact with my parents, I tasted a freedom I'd never known. No matter what I did, they'd always decided I fell short of Maura, talent, poise, everything. But without their disapproving filter, coworkers and friends said I seemed reborn. Only then did I realize how long I'd lived under the pressure Maura loaded on me and the control my parents wielded. Even my boyfriend had never stood on my side. I gradually shaped the life I wanted, and people began to notice me. Adrian Zhang, CEO of the boutique branding firm, was the perfect gentleman. One stormy day he found me delivering files and gave me a ride. We chatted all the way, and when he stopped at my building I discovered Jason had been waiting outside, eyes bloodshot. Watching me step out of the car, he sneered, Willa, who the hell is that man? We never broke up, and you're already cheating on me? Adrian, curious, lowered his window. Mortified, I pulled Jason aside. Have you lost it? I spelled it out that day, Maura wants you, take him. Wasn't that crystal clear? I never agreed. Jason roared. Willa, do you have to be this heartless? I've told you 100 times, what's between your sister and me isn't what you think. His explanations only fed my irritation. Jason, if nothing's going on, why didn't you refuse the moment Maura said she liked you? His face drained, he stood speechless. From the instant Maura wedged herself between us, you tilted the scale toward her, just like my parents. I asked you to deliver a file, you were with Maura. I was sick, you were with Maura. You promised a trip, you ended up with Maura. So tell me, Jason, what exactly is your relationship with her? His complexion went white, he tried to speak, but I shook him off. This ends here, Jason. Not just you, Mom, Dad, Leo, Maura, everything you've done has driven me away. Well, I'm gone, thanks to Maura. You should all be celebrating, right? After that, Jason seemed to vanish. I buried myself in work, and forgot all of them. By retaining several major clients, I earned the boss's praise, and 2 promotions in a row. I now had my own corner office and, instead of running in circles, plenty of time to invest in myself. When Leo finally sought me out, a whole year had slipped by. Big sis, we're still your family, every holiday you used to come home. Why not this year? Leo was in my corner office, pouring out grievances. Mom and Dad haven't really smiled in ages. Your room's been made up, but every time Mom walks in she bursts into tears. I gave Leo a cool glance and kept typing. And Dad, he was in the hospital recently, calling your name in his sleep. Second sister, I know you're furious, but we're still your flesh and blood. You can't cut that away, right? Plus Maura, she's given back everything she ever took from you. When are you coming home? I said nothing, just worked. Leo finally snapped, eyes rimmed red. Say something, Willa. I lifted my gaze to this grown-up Leo. Once he'd been a tiny bundled kid who, when I was bullied, would stand beside me bruised and silent, never crying. But somewhere along the way the person he protected stopped being me and became Maura. Every other sentence was, you're not as good as Maura, or you don't deserve to be my big sister. I looked away. Go home. Tell Mom and Dad I'll meet every legal duty of support, but emotional comfort? Sorry, I'm fresh out. If they need feelings, ask Maura. She can supply far more than I ever could. I had my assistant escort Leo out. My heart didn't stir once. All the old bitterness and despair were past tense. I would never again be the one who tucked everyone inside her heart and forgot her own. 2 years later, I got married to Adrian. In his words, he'd been coveting me for a long, long time. At first he was hooked by how fiercely I worked. After that he discovered the train wreck of my birth family. Adrian's folks, though, were textbook functional. The first time I met my mother-in-law, her sunny optimism infected me. She didn't try to control me like Eleanor, she dragged me off to do fun stuff. Even my father-in-law brings home treats for us every time he steps out. And Adrian's little sister clings to me daily for snacks and hauls me to every family gathering, shielding me the whole time. This is what a whole family feels like. I didn't invite my parents to the wedding, yet somehow Maura found out. She barged into the ceremony tent, shouting that I was unfilial, marrying while my parents still lived. My in-laws showed her the door. Adrian held my hand and said he'd stand beside me no matter what. I haven't seen Maura since. The next time I heard of her, I'd already had a darling daughter who either cooed mommy around my legs or pestered daddy for science bedtime stories. Adrian was spoon-feeding her when a stranger's text popped up on his phone. I opened it. Maura. Adrian, can you lend me some money? I'm practically your wife's big sister, same family. Help me out? I'm desperate. I read her earlier messages with detached curiosity. Same old tune. Life is hard, Willa stole everything, jealousy blah blah. Adrian never replied, not once. Why didn't you answer? I asked, waving the phone. By then he was a full-time daughter addict. After a dismissive glance he turned back to our girl. Reply and give her another shot at hurting you? I keep the thread only as evidence, just in case she ever tries again. Warmth flashed through me. The person who truly loves you carries you in their heart, not for your own good while favoring someone else. Mom and Dad never got that, but I no longer care. Another year passed, my daughter started preschool. One afternoon while picking her up I spotted my parents walking Maura along the street. Their eyes lit up when they saw me. Mom, Dad, I nodded in greeting. Mom smiled, yet her gaze was hollow. You married without telling us. Now there's a grandchild and we weren't there to help, not a word. I smiled faintly. Compared with me and the baby, I believe Maura needs your care more, right, Mom and Dad? Dad opened his mouth, but I was already turning away. The sunset was perfect, my daughter's shadow and mine stretched along the curb, speckled by drifting ginkgo leaves, like a beautiful painting. My little girl's life hasn't even begun. Mine, on the other hand, has only just started. Thank you for listening to today's story. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate it? If you liked the video, please like and share with friends. We look forward to your comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories. See you next time.